Welcome to the second episode of the Almagier.net vlog. Today we're going to look at why Birmingham City is just so damn hard to sell. Every so often a rumour breaks that someone wants to buy Birmingham City Football Club. Whether it's an outrageous, outlandish person like Massimo Cellino or some unknown consortium from God knows where, the same thing always happens. The rumour quickly gets shut down and it's back to normal. But why? The chief problem with Birmingham City Football Club is its unique ownership situation. I can only think of Wigan Athletic in recent times that have had owners on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and even that was quite different to the way that Blues are owned. When Wigan was sold by the International Entertainment Corporation, number 1009 on the Stock Exchange of Hong Kong, they only made up 18% of the revenue of their parent company. Thus, no one really cared that they were sold. The situation is quite different with Birmingham City and Birmingham Sports Holdings. Birmingham City make up over 90% of Birmingham Sports Holdings revenues. Now, while BSH do actually have other companies in the group, because they make so little money, they cannot exist without Birmingham City. Therefore, Birmingham City and Birmingham Sports Holdings are intricately entwined, and therein lies the problem. The problem that Birmingham Sports Holdings has is that if they sold Birmingham City Football Club, they would lose their listing on the Stock Exchange of Hong Kong, and that listing is actually worth a lot of money. The reason for that is actually quite simple. To get listed on the main board of the Stock Exchange of Hong Kong, you need to be a massive company, and most people who want to get listed haven't got massive companies. All they are looking for is investment in their project. So, like Carson did when he went and bought Boeing City, people invest in what are called shell listings, which are basically companies that don't really do much. They inject their business into it and take it over, and then they can use that stock listing to raise more money for their investment. This means that just the listing itself has an intrinsic value of about 40 or 50 million pounds, probably double what the club is worth. This is why Birmingham Sports Holdings will not be able to spin off Birmingham City Football Club, because they cannot afford to lose that listing. The only way things can change is if BSH bring in more business so that they are less dependent on BCFC to bring in revenue. So in that case, the obvious question is, well, instead of buying Birmingham City Football Club, how much would it cost to buy BSH? Now, daft as it sounds, this is actually a really easy question to answer. Start off, in Hong Kong, there is a rule that if you buy more than 30% of any listed company, you have to make what's called a general offer for the rest of the company. You have to offer to buy everyone's shares. This is why Carson never owned more than 30% of Birmingham Sports Holdings, because he didn't want to buy everyone else's shares. At the time of filming this, a share in Birmingham Sports Holdings costs about 11 Hong Kong cents, which is a shade over a penny. And there are 17.7 billion shares available. So we can work out from multiplying 11 cents a share by 17.7 billion the value of Birmingham Sports Holdings, what's called the stock market capitalisation. Now this comes in at just a shade under 2 billion Hong Kong dollars, or about 210 million pounds. What that means is that if you wanted to buy every single share in Birmingham Sports Holdings, it cost you at least 210 million. And obviously, if you went to people who have got a lot of shares, they're going to want a premium. They're going to want to make a bit of profit on the deal, so it's going to cost you even more. This ridiculous value of the listed company, which has no relation to how much it's actually worth, is why no one will buy it, because it's just massively overvalued. Say I've got £250 million to spare and I'm insane and I want to do it anyway. Would the offer be accepted? Right now, I think the simple answer to this question is no. While Paul Shun is the guy with his name up above the door because he owns Trillion Trophy Asia, which is the largest shareholder, evidence points to the guy putting the money into the club and into Birmingham Sports Holdings as the elusive Mr. King, also known as by his proper name, Wang Yao Hui. Right now, there is nothing to suggest that either Shun or Mr. King want to pull out. In fact, due to the coronavirus outbreak, the club are actually more dependent on money from Hong Kong than they ever were before. So without regular infusions of cash from Hong Kong and without player sales, the club could go bust in a matter of weeks. Again, this is a situation we've seen with Wigan, where they got sold to a company in the Cayman Islands who didn't put any money in and gone into administration. Furthermore, there are cultural aspects at play. You might have heard me say this before, but Chinese people really don't like selling to people who aren't Chinese. It's something that's come about from thousands of years of civilization. There is an endemic mistrust of foreigners, basically because every time we've been involved with China, we've tried to screw them over. So they quite understandably don't trust us, and they'd rather work with themselves. If you look at across the expressway, Tony Shah, it took them being literally hours away from liquidation before he decided to bail. Now, I don't know this for sure, but it's my feeling at this moment in time that things would have to go a similar distance before Shun and or King would pull out. Now, before you reach for the Valium and the razor blades thinking, oh no, we'll never be rid of them, things change. As of the time making this video, July 2020, I can't see it. But that doesn't mean it never will happen. It's also worth bearing in mind that sales of football clubs doesn't always go as people plan them to. Look at Wigan, look at Charlton, look at Bury, look at Bolton. You might not always get what you hope for. If you enjoyed watching this video and you want to hear more about what I want to talk about ownership and FFP and all that sort of stuff, then please hit subscribe. Please like the video. It does help the video to reach more people, and that would be rather nice. Next week I'll be talking about FFP. Why there feels like it's a vendetta against Birmingham City, why FFP is a complete mess, and what I personally would do to make FFP better. Now, till then, keep right on.